Before you say anything, I know I look super ghostly right now, and I will get to that, but hi, welcome to my channel. My name's Sarah. Thank you so much for clicking on this foundation video. Today I'm going to be doing a first impressions review on a product I didn't really expect to. I was just in Dollar Tree and I saw that I don't know if it's their brand, if it's just a really cheap brand, but the Sassy Chic brand came out with a BB cream. I don't know how long this has actually been around because other Dollar Trees tend to get products before mine do, but it was only $1 and I was like, I really want to try this out. I've tried out the Sassy Chic foundation. It's in like a clear and black bottle, and that's hands down the worst foundation, if you can even call it that, I have ever tried. It felt like and looked like face paint. It was horrible. I ended up just throwing it out. But makeup has come a long way since then. That was a couple years ago, so I thought maybe this one is a new and improved version of a foundation. I've actually already tried this out yesterday. I wore it all day just to see if it was even worth doing a video on, because if it was just as bad as the other Sassy Chic foundation, I didn't want to make a video that's just saying this is horrible and cut it out the first day. So going into this, you know, at least it was good enough for me to make a video on it. So keep that in mind. I'm not saying this is the best foundation yet, but it's worth it to watch. So this is the Sassy Chic BB Beauty Benefit Cream. I didn't know that BB stood for Beauty Benefit. I don't know what I thought it stood for, but I know CC cream is coloring correct. I don't know. There's really not much on the bottle. It says it's multi-action skincare and makeup, but it doesn't say anything else. It just has directions, caution if you get a rash, and then the ingredients. I don't see any skincare benefits in the ingredients. It's just water, different compounds that I can't pronounce. So I highly doubt that you're actually getting a skincare benefit, but it's $1, so I don't expect to. And also, I don't really need skincare in my foundation. I don't know how many shades they come in because they don't have them online. This is actually selling for like $6 on eBay, and it doesn't even have a shade number on it. But I got Light 1. My guess is that they don't have a great shade range just because it's Dollar Tree and it's $1, and they're not really trying to make themselves known as a brand. It's kind of like they're a Dollar Tree brand. So yesterday I wore this all day for about 10 to 11 hours. Today I'm going to be showing you how it looks applied. Using it yesterday helped me get an idea of how to tweak this foundation for today and for tomorrow. Today I'm not going to be able to do like a full wear test. I'm only going to have it on for like maybe 5 to 6 hours because I have to film this after work. However, I'm also going to do a wear test tomorrow, wear it all day, probably wear it like 12 hours, but I'll do check-ins throughout the day, and I will still do an update tonight to see how it looks after 5 hours. So right now I actually have self tanner on. I don't know if you can tell. I mean, if you compare my face to my arm, you can tell. So that is why I look so ghostly, is I forgot to put the self tanner on my face, and I also put sunscreen on. And my sunscreen, I'm just trying to use it up because it has the ultimate white cast, like the worst white cast I have ever experienced. So that's why I look extra pale, because the rest of my body is tan and my face didn't get tan, and it's also now white because of my sunscreen. So we might be adding in a ton of bronzer today, just a heads up. I'm going to be testing this out with a sponge today. Yesterday I tried it with a brush and it just didn't work well with the texture of this formula, and I had to go over it with a sponge because it just looked bad. So I'm just not even gonna try that today. So I'm gonna go wet my sponge. But if you want, while I go do that, you can give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, comment, share, say hello. I did already do my eyebrows and my eyes today. So I'm gonna take some on the back of my hand, and this is actually a thicker texture than I thought it was gonna be. I haven't tried a BB cream in a really long time, and I always thought that they were a little bit thinner because they're meant to be more of like sheer or coverage. Like, I don't really think there are full coverage BB creams. I'm gonna take some. This is my Shop Miss AOA microfiber sponge, and I'm gonna pounce that in. Yesterday I put on 2 coats because the brush really sheared it out, and I applied the second with the sponge. But today I might see if I can get away with just 1 layer. I love when my hair just gets all in the way when I'm trying to apply foundation. Just getting foundation in my hairline. I'm gonna squeeze some more out. I think this shade would be a good shade match for me if I wasn't wearing self-tanner. A lot of my foundations are actually too dark for me, but this one's actually just right for when I'm not wearing self-tanner. Okay, so I finished applying the foundation. It is very light coverage, which I only put one layer, so that is expected, and I wasn't trying to build it up. In some areas, it looks very, very skin-like. Like on the smooth areas of my face, it does look pretty good, even though it is very sheer. It doesn't look makeup-y. However, you can tell more so around my nose. My nose typically poses a problem for all face products, so it doesn't look great, but it doesn't look horrible. One thing I noticed yesterday, you cannot touch this foundation after you apply it. You have to let it sit for a few minutes. I just scratched my nose after I was finished applying it, and it completely came off. Like, if I just like wipe my nose, it completely comes off onto my fingers. So this is definitely one that you will either have to set or leave a good few minutes to let it set itself. I let it sit, I think, for about 10 minutes. If you don't have that kind of time, you'll probably need to set it with a powder. I'm now going to go in with my concealer. Okay, I didn't have any problems layering that concealer over the foundation. I'm also going to set my nose area because that's where makeup often rubs off first for me. But I'm going to leave the rest and it's still setting down before I can put powder on it. Okay, it doesn't look bad with the powder on. I'm going to give it a couple minutes and let it set. Okay, I did let it set for a little bit, and now I'm going to try and apply bronzer. And given the tone of my body and the tone of my face, we're going to need a lot of bronzer. I'm actually going to take the same brush I used. Oh, before I forgot, I do have some acne down here and it didn't cover it up very well. It is light coverage, like I already said, but that's just something to note, that if you do have acne. All of the products I'm using, I will put in the description box below if you happen to be curious. Some bronzer up here, make me look a little less like Casper. Okay, I think that helped liven up my face a little bit. We're also going to do blush, so hopefully that also does some help. Okay, so I don't think any of the powder products sheared out this BB cream. I think it looks pretty good right now. It is 5:11, so I will check in about 5 hours. But so far, I am liking this. I don't have a ton of super light coverage foundations in general, so I do like this so far because it is different. I don't like that it takes forever to set. So this might be something that, like, if I'm really in a hurry and I just want to put on like some quick light shade foundation, I would just put this on and then let it set and not really do much else. But yeah, I'm going to check in with you later. Okay, the foundation has actually been on for 7 hours at this point, so I did leave it on longer than expected. Here's a close-up. It is rubbing off a lot near my nose, especially on this side. It doesn't look so great in the areas where I had the concealer and I set the powder. I don't know if it's the concealer or the powder. So it's not great and it's not bad, but I think tomorrow I can get a better idea of how it performs. Hello, today is day 2 of trying out the Sassy Chic BB Cream Foundation. So today I ended up putting on 2 coats because I was just looking for a little bit higher coverage and I just wanted to test it out to see how long it lasts. Today I'm going to be having it on for probably at least 10 hours. Honestly, just whenever I feel like washing my face. So I did end up setting my entire face with the Coty Airspun because after letting it sit for 10 to 15 minutes, it still was rubbing off of my nose really, really easily. I think it was okay setting down itself after a few minutes when it was just 1 layer, but something about the 2 layers, it just looked super, super dewy, which I didn't mind. But like if I bumped my face ever so slightly, it would all come off. I also should note that last night after I washed my face, I noticed that I'm having kind of an allergic reaction to something. I don't know if you can tell now that I'm wearing makeup, but like you can kind of see some bumpiness over here. It was mostly surrounded in my nose, mouth area. So it's possible that it could be just the powder I used to set my nose area. However, I've used that powder before and it's never caused any issues. So I don't know if it's just like an ingredient in the powder counteracting with an ingredient in the BB cream. And I did think the first day I tried out the BB cream that my face felt a little itchy, but I just thought it was only a little bit, so I didn't really think too much of it. I was actually kind of like, why is my face so itchy when I have to film a foundation review where I can't touch my face. So I eliminated the powder today, and we will see how it looks throughout the day and at the end of the day, especially when I wash all of my makeup off. It was still red, itchy, and bumpy this morning, and I ended up putting on a hydrocortisone cream underneath my sunscreen to hopefully calm down my skin so I don't feel the need to scratch it all day. My face currently doesn't feel itchy, but we will see as this sits on my face for a few more hours. I will do a check-in in about 4 to 5 hours. Okay, so the BB cream has been on for a little over 5 hours. I think right now it's still looking pretty good. It hasn't really rubbed off on my cheeks. It's not looking too makeup-y. I'll zoom in so you can hopefully see. I was wearing a mask and it did rub off on my nose a little bit. So far, I think it looks not bad. It seems to be holding up okay aside from the nose mask area. It's not looking too makeup-y yet. It's not creasing. I often get creases in the sides of my mouth. So far, I'm liking it and my face isn't itching, so maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's not this BB cream. Maybe it was the powder mixed with the BB cream or just like something entirely different that day. I don't know. Maybe it was something else I came in contact with, but it seems to be fine today. So I will check in hopefully about 5 more hours. Okay, the foundation has been on for about 12 hours at this point. I've been wearing a mask on and off today, so it's definitely rubbed off a lot in my nose area, like where the mask rests, and then just in my mouth area. Redness on my nose is definitely very evident. Like you can kind of see like that got wiped off. Around here it got wiped off. It looks like the coverage from earlier is a little bit lighter since earlier, just as it's been wearing throughout the day. I don't think it looks too oily and it doesn't look too makeup-y. A good indicator if the foundation is makeup-y is at the end of the day, right here where I have a lot of expression, there will be kind of just more separating foundation or just looking more makeup-y. I think 12 hours is a pretty good time for this to last. My face has not been feeling itchy like it was yesterday and earlier today. It looks like it still is a little red and bumpy in the same areas, but maybe it's just healing. So we'll see how it looks once I take all my makeup off. If it looks worse, I will show. But if it's not feeling any worse right now, I feel like it might not be the BB cream because I've been wearing it for 12 hours. I feel like if that's what was causing it, it would be much, much worse. So it is late, so I'm actually going to do an update tomorrow on my final thoughts on this foundation. Okay, I'm trying to get what leftover sunlight I have. So update, after I washed the foundation or the BB cream off my face last night, it got worse. The allergic reaction started spreading. I have a lot of tiny little bumps all up my face. They don't necessarily itch like they did the first day, but they're very noticeable. My skin looks textured and rough, red. This is the second day not wearing it and it's getting better, but my skin is still looking textured, and I tried to wear a powder foundation and it was just looking horrible over this allergic reaction. So while I can't like 100% say that it was the BB cream, all the other products I used haven't done this to me, so I'm pretty positive that the BB cream is what broke me out, or not broke me out, but what caused an allergic reaction, which I feel like now that I'm like re-experiencing it, I feel like I may have also gotten an allergic reaction from the Sassy Chic foundation that I hated. So I don't know if it's something they're putting in their foundations, or maybe like it's $1, so like I can't be too upset. I'm not gonna wear it again, but I knew going into this that buying BB cream from the Dollar Tree, like something could go wrong. So it's possible that you could wear this and it not give you an allergic reaction. It might just be an ingredient that my skin is reacting to. Depending on how you react to other things, it might be worth a shot trying out because it is only $1. If I'm throwing it away, it's really not that much money I'm tossing out. So as for me, I will not be wearing this again, but it's not bad as far as what it is. Like it's $1, it's a BB cream. It wore pretty well throughout the day. I wore it for like 10.5 hours the one day and it held up decently well. If it didn't cause an allergic reaction, that would be a different story. So I'd say I like kind of maybe with very many stipulations recommend this foundation. Or maybe if you get it, try it out on your arm or your hand and see if it's gonna break you out. Or even maybe your neck. Sometimes your skin up here is more sensitive than your other skin. So maybe try it like somewhere before putting it all over your face to make sure you don't get an allergic reaction. That is about all I have to say. I'm gonna go put some hydrocortisone cream all over my face. So I will hopefully see you in my next video, but thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'd really appreciate it if you could like this video, subscribe, comment. Thank you for your support. See you in my next one.